Nobody wants it there.
Oh, I see.
So we put it on the
Okay.
plan and I'll do it next week.
And you can make them brighter. Can you make these brighter? You can. Okay, is that better? Hallelujah. It's visible?
Yes.
Good. We're going to look over there now. Okay, as you can see, I decided we were rushing too quick through this stuff and going, hey, here's a concept, hey, here's a concept. Next, of the most important tenet of Buddhist, like the Buddha really gave 3 core things that were so different to everyone else. And it's the way he described the ultimate nature of existence: emptiness, wisdom, the diamond. All these things are synonyms for this idea that it can be an experience. So that's one. And we've been talking about that. Dependent origination, karma, all these things are another one. And compassion, the reason to put these 2 together. Yeah? So these are the really big deals. And we've been talking about one of the big deals really fast. Because the Tibetans had 1,000 years to go really in detail and make comment on the Buddha's words that let us connect with it practically and use it for ourselves.
Sorry guys, well, let's change.
So I decided, let's quickly cover what we've been covering so you can say, how do I put that in my life? Rather than, oh, I get that idea, but I don't know exactly how to use it. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. Many people have been calling me, messaging me with really beautiful questions, really practical questions. And it's my honor to help you figure it out. But the answers are in the book, and the answers are in your heart. And I can't help you figure it out. You have to figure it out. We can talk about it, but you have to figure it out. Because when you figure it out, you figure it out. No more questions. You know, the person that's wondering is always searching. The person that isn't searching isn't wondering. You're there. You're not like, I'm a searcher, I'm a seeker. Like you've got it. And it's not that there's a feeling of wholeness and complete when you're there. And you all know what it's like to be there about certain things in life. This is the thing in life. So I hope that through our talk tonight we can get to the place for you specifically, right now and ultimately. Yeah? So to do that, to get our motivation right, we usually do a mandala offering, which is offering a perfect universe. Whatever that looks for you, just imagine perfection at work, alive and vibrant, beginning at the core of your fingers. If you don't know the mudra, just do that, that's fine. And then imagine as you're perfecting it, physically, mentally, what it would feel like, smell like, etc. Then as soon as you've got perfection, you give it away to the teachers you've had in your life and the teachers that you will have, and may they help you figure it out. So,
Sashi Buddhi Zikshim Etokram Niralin Shirindem Padi Sangye Shingyu Miteluadi Drogun Nanda Shingla Shipasho Iyam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamyatayami Sangye Chiram Sagi Shognam La Jamshu Badu Dagni Kyapsushi Daki Jenyeng Jipe Sonamki Dola Benchir Sangye Drupasho Sangye Shiram Sogi Shognam La Jamshu Badu Dagni Kyapsushi Daki Jenyeng dipe sonamki Drola benchir sange druparsho Sange shirang soki shagnamla Janchu badu dakni jaksushi Daki jenyen gipe sonamki Drola benchir sange druparsho
So take a comfortably seated position. We're going to do a short meditation. The idea first is just get your body settled. The core of your spine is at ease, but erect. Remove any tension from your body. Bring your mind to anything it's going towards and just allow it to touch it, and then gradually begin to bring it into your body, your sensations, until you get to your breath. But first make sure every part of you is relaxed. At ease. Begin to press your mind a little tighter on the breath, meaning try and focus more and more fine details about the breath, any aspect of the breath, the moisture, the temperature, the movement, the pulse in it, anything at all, and you're on your object of meditation. So just spend a few rounds getting to know your breath like you've never felt it before. Don't hold it too tight, and if your mind wanders, make sure to add a pleasurable sensation to catching the wandering, saying, "Oh, good on you, mind. You realized I was wandering," and gently come back to the breath. It should feel like a pleasure to have witnessed your mind catch itself wandering and bring it back to your object. Now imagine a mind that has no suffering, no afflictions, no pain. Everything that mind encounters is just perfect bliss and ultimate wisdom. Imagine a mind like that. Even the memory of a suffering realm is some kind of pleasure, because you're free from it and it was easy to get out of. And then invite that mind to appear before you, in front of you, in the shape of anyone that you've seen as a teacher or see as a teacher. It could be a historical figure, a real life person, a teacher, currently a guru, or a Buddha, or anyone at all. Just imagine that mind incarnate in front of you. some kind of form in front of you, embodying that mind of wisdom and compassion. It's the peak of evolution of the mind. Just beautiful peace. Knowing exactly what to do at every millisecond. No doubt, no fear. Complete love for everything that mind engages with. A kind of bliss that is indescribable. Now imagine seeing the world through those eyes in that being and looking at you now meditating. Imagine what it's like to be completely loved unconditionally and understand exactly what you need to do to be free from suffering. See if you can imagine eyes like that upon you. A feeling of love in that heart. See if you can accept that kind of love for you. Just play with that. Every answer available. No need to hold on to all things that don't serve you. Knowing that you have specific steps to remove your hurt from your mind, different steps to other people, understanding those in the flash. See in the being in front of you a kind of patience. That means they'll stay with you for as long as it takes for you to be free. And then ask them to please always teach you and stay close. To always hint that they are around in the smallest signs around you. People you bump into, ideas you have, dreams, that they always come and whisper wisdom in your ear. Good and bad things that happen to you, may they be present and bring to light the things you need to know. Then see if you can invite them to stay close and imagine they rise up and turn to face the same direction you're facing, getting smaller and brighter, like a compact ball of nectar of wisdom just floating above the crown of your head, small as a thumbnail. See if you can have a sense of their presence there. You can feel a kind of gravity there. Instant wisdom available to you, always protected. When you're ready, just gently come back to your body in the room. check your motivation for coming here on a Thursday evening. And see if you can imagine that a hidden, special reason why the people that are in the room are in the room for you. Why these people, why these words. Imagine that behind that layer there's some magic waiting for you if you could only see it. Whispering wisdom. Let's start with nominal reality. So I'm going to be Australian for a second. We reckon this is one of the smartest people on the planet. Yeah, it was. We revere this scientist who could get to the edges of understanding that we know it helped many people, but I couldn't do what he did. But I know we revere him, and he seemed to have had some insight beyond what I consider normal scientists or normal materialists. Yeah. And it's beautiful to see when people reach an evolution, a peak in their careers, whether it be science or music or teaching or something, they get revelations. Some of them get revelations. So for those of you who have been studying Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, who had a revelation about the nature of existence and therefore could behave in accord with existence to get ultimate results rather than broken results that run out. If you haven't noticed, your world is full of broken results, right? I'm gonna hammer that home because I don't want to hide away from the fact that everything we try keeps failing and we keep trying the same things. How many people have had more than one partner? More than two? More than 200? No, I'm kidding. You don't need to say that. How many have had return partners? Like the same person? Yeah, I know, right? Maybe if I try it again. Yeah. How many people have changed careers? More than once. More than twice. How many have returned to the same job? I know. Yeah. Maybe this time it'll be different. So, my assertion, I think a couple of classes ago, was I felt a bit nervous about saying it, but this is touching something uncommon in our world. That's why it's amazing. The common view, our normal view of explaining why things happen to us or what's going on in our world, I assert, is incomplete and dysfunction. Incomplete and dysfunction. I want you to think about those things for your efforts in the world. And I'm not making a juju for you. I'm trying to get you to look at reality, okay? Because if you have something that's complete and functional, please share it with me, because I'm also trying. Okay? We have various explanations that can be narrowed down to about 3, yeah, of why stuff happens, or why I'm going to get happy now, run away from unhappy now. Yeah, and I say that if we're human, like I think we are, sometimes, the things we've learned about how to operate in this world are incomplete and dysfunctional. Incomplete because they don't explain everything. Yeah? We get that voice shut out of us when we're little kids. I keep using the example of 2 people in a car. The car has an accident, one person dies, the other one doesn't. The little kid says, why did such and such a person die? And why didn't the other? They both had the car accident. And you say, Because that one's on the left-hand side and that one was on the right-hand side, and the truck smashed on the left-hand side. But why did the truck smash on the left-hand side where she was sitting and not on the right-hand side where he was sitting? Well, she decided she wasn't going to drive today, and he decided he was. But why did she decide she was going to drive today? See, our modern explanation for things like that, we're very scientific, and I'm not putting science down. I'm here because of science. No, I was going to say I'm a test tube baby, but I'm not the test tube baby. That's a womb with a view. No one's ever heard that. I needed to throw some jokes in there. I was genetically engineering one, but I couldn't find it. Okay. What I'm saying is, the scientific worldview, we hold as truth to whatever degree you know it, right? We use it every day. It says, well, the doctor can tell you that her brain got smashed and therefore she stopped reacting, or something burst and then blah, 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 and then she was brain dead and therefore she was dead. And that's why she's dead. Yeah, but why her? Why in that car? We keep asking. Science, our current view, can tell us a ton of the material things. But when it comes to those questions, the ones that are too hard, even that system says, I don't know. They don't even say I don't know. It's like it's a stupid question. Obviously she died because she was in this car, or whatever we come up with. Two people having a similar car accident, one does die, one doesn't die. Why her? Why this time? Why now? Too complex, we say. And because it's too complex, it has no answer in our view, and that's what I mean by incomplete. And we are comfortable with that. We're like fleas in a jar, you know, that are happy to jump that much. We take the lid off, we're still happy to jump that far. We're like elephants tied to the post. I mean, I've used these analogies over and over. They chain an elephant to a tree, the elephant can't go more than X distance, this is how you train them. Then eventually you change the chain to a rope and eventually to a string, and the thing doesn't go anywhere. We're like that. If it's an event, it's caused. If we believe everything has a cause, why not that? Why is that too hard? Why can't I get to it? Incomplete. And if you accept that for your life, like, okay, about the car accident, but why did I get fired? Or why did my relationship break up? Or why did my kid turn out to be like that? Or why, you know, and not hers? It's caused. It's an event. It was produced. You can figure it out. But not if you are biased. Yeah? So it's incomplete. Okay? And there's three basic explanations. Science, cause and effect, except for the stuff we can't define, which is not really everything, right? An omnipotent, everything-making being, separate from you, out of your control, leave it up to them. They can be good one day, bad the other day, you're screwed. Or you're lucky if they like you, or if you grovel, or whatever. And I'm not putting religions down. I'm just saying, do you believe that? That something happened to you, one of those things you can't explain, and go to too difficult to explain, there must be an answer, not me, I can't figure it out. Or some power outside of me that is omnipotent, separate from me, nothing to do with me, is deciding my fate. And that's why things happen. That's why she died. That's not, you know, like my biggest, I grew up Catholic, right? I'm not putting religions down, please. There's a ton of amazing practices in all of the world's religions when you focus them on compassion. Yeah? But what I'm saying is, as a child, I couldn't understand why an all-powerful God could create a world where he knew the world was going to screw up, and then he's going to have to drown babies and just keep one family and a bunch of giraffes and start again. If he was all known, why did he do it? I couldn't understand. And my priest told me to keep quiet. Yeah, he must have been a scientist. He couldn't explain it. That was my own intelligence. The third explanation, which I think is the one that Western affluent societies have, is like, there's no cause, it's just random, dude. I'm not putting down drug heads either. No, but sometimes we think we're comfortable, like the fleas or the elephant, to go, oh, no. Just this. That's why that happens. What if there's an answer? And we're just settling. Yeah? So the whole study of this last 2 classes that we did for this chapter, which is 6 states of mind that the Buddha said you have to have in order to get enlightened, right? 6 practices, 6 ways of being. This is the 6th, yeah? Wisdom. Your capacity to connect, make connection with a type of reality you don't even know exists. Yeah? You make contact with that sense of how things truly are for just enough time, just a few minutes according to the texts. And it's like getting electrified and you are changed forever. You can no longer see or put up with the mistake, with the way things you were happy to accept. You know for a fact how everything functions. And then you can begin your work. Until then, we're just caught up in some kind of cause and effect that we have zero idea how it functions. It's science, sometimes I can answer it, sometimes I can't. It's some dude or dudess with anger issues and loving issues and anyway, and no reason at all. And I'm happy with that. My life is good. I'm going to have more bread tomorrow. I'm going to be healthy next week. Maybe I'll get another girlfriend and another, not me, another two. I don't know why I said that. So, see, things change. Not that much. Do you see what I mean? Like, we're all sort of happy to go along until it hits you in the face. Who's had someone close to them die? Mm. Do you feel as intense about it now as you did the moment you found out? Mm. No. That's telling of something. Yeah? We normalize things. We settle. So things happen to us and we get we're shocked every time a superstar dies. My God, did you hear what's her name died? I don't know how many thousands of years we've been on the planet. Okay. So, to begin really living, you have to prove emptiness to yourself, which is a little ironic. Yeah. Because Buddhism says there's no self, nature. But it can be a play on words for Westerners, okay, when you first hear these things. And what you're looking for to establish this emptiness thing that we've been talking about is you are looking for that purple sky elephant that I just blew up there. A thing that could ever exist out there, separate from you. Yeah, a self-existent thing. And why is that a big deal? Because that's the way we actually think things work. We think things happen to us. Even your thoughts sort of happen to you. And they do. But it's not separate from you. We think living in this world happened to you. And it did. Except not separate from your experience of you being in this world. And it's tricky because we're not used to thinking that way. We're habituated to look at the world in a different way. And the counter-intuitive thinking is difficult whilst your life is nice and pretty. When you get an illness, when a family member gets an illness, when you get serious hardship, all of a sudden you're interested in causality a little bit more than, what made that happen? All of a sudden it's precious. Everybody's dying on the planet and it's not precious for us. So I'm challenging you to think about these things because you have to think them and practice them in your head, and then you will have an uncontrived experience of it. But not if you don't, because sometimes you won't. So to say so, that sadly it's true that hang-ups and bang-ups can happen to you. So the thing we're looking for to establish this emptiness, which isn't a thing, okay? It's the subject matter that Master Shantideva, the author of the book we're studying, has been covering, so you can make sense of your mistakes. So you can make sense of the things that are breaking up your life. So also you can make sense and keep the things that are blissful in your life and beautiful in your life. Even the things you stopped counting. Who has hot water at home? Who's had a meal today? Who's got some money in the bank, even if it's $1? Who bought clothes in the last month? Who's wearing the same undies as yesterday? No. I don't want to know.
What are undies? What?
No, Americans, damn it. A little underwears. Okay, I don't put these on. So, do you understand? Emptiness is not a thing. Yeah? Emptiness is a lack of a thing that wasn't there in the first place. Okay? What emptiness is empty of is this big thing. Yeah? And we call it the gacha. The way we think of the world, the way we connect to the world, it's impossible. It can't work the way the world we think works. Someone hurt me. Someone out there did something. The feelings of hurt in me came from that. And now I have them, the bastard. So I better punch him in the face. I get anger, I punch it in the face. Somebody out there punched me in the face. Sometime later. The bastard. Punch them in the gut and the face. Yeah? 3 months later, someone punches me in the gut and the face, metaphor. And I think it's coming out there. Do you understand? But punching in the face is happening in here, and I am projecting my reality out is the assertion. But we can't believe that, because that's not the way it functions to us. We don't see it that way. We see it, punch me in the face. And if I punch you in the face, you stop for a second. But later I get a punch in the face, and I don't know why that came. Because I haven't been able to connect that with that. That kind of insight you can have. Understanding that connection. And you can have it before you have to have the Buddha experience. So, do you all know what I'm talking about, or am I just talking? Yeah? You've got some things in your life you don't want no more. You also have some things in your life I tell you you will not want later, but you've got them now and you're just letting them ride. Yeah? You also have things in your world that are slowly disappearing and you don't want to let them go. And then you've got some things that are beautiful in your life that you think will always be there, and they will go. Because they were produced. And anything here in samsara that was produced must necessarily end. Unless you inject the antidote to the reason things deteriorate, why they turn south. And that's the purpose of talking about this class. To do that, we have to talk about a bunch of other weird things, like a gacha, which is the impossible thing. A gacha is a thing that could exist separate from your mind, completely existent out there, with those qualities out there. Yeah? Projecting, radiating its existence from its own side. A thing like that never existed anyway. It's an impossible thing. There is no thing that's out there radiating its existence, and every single mind that engages with it must necessarily experience it the same way. Can you understand that logically? Yeah? I challenge you to look for a thing radiating its existence that it must be experienced by every mind in exactly the same way, because the nature of that thing is radiating its very nature. The sun. Worms don't see the sun. Yeah? The sun to me feels warm and gentle. Some things get fried by the sun. Not warm and gentle. That's not the same nature. You get it? Yeah? I've done the pen over and over, and we're going to get to do it again. I said at the beginning that the worldviews we currently hold to operate our lives are incomplete, right? But I also said it's dysfunctional. Why would I say that?
just doesn't function the way we think it functions.
Sort of, not quite. I'm sort of being more aggressive towards it.
Does it work one way 100% of the time?
Almost close. Almost close. See, it's really good for us to split atoms, yeah? It's really good for science to have figured out all these material things. It serves us. That's why we've got clothes and houses, and that's why I'm not fighting with them. But it's incomplete because it doesn't answer everything, and you've got that. But it's dysfunctional because there's a missing ingredient to that way of understanding the world, that it's in fact the very core and the very essence of why every sentient being moves on the planet. Every sentient thing on the planet is moving towards something or away from something else. At the very core, we want this state that a simple word to label it is happiness. Yeah? It's more food, or it's joy, or it's another glass of wine, or it's not the annoying neighbor, or whatever. We're moving away from the big shark if you're a little fish, towards the little fish if you're the big shark. Thinking it's gonna make you happy. If I have more fishies, my belly gets full. That's how it works. I will be full. I'll get that sense of satisfaction. Even sharks are seeking that state of satisfaction. So an understanding of the world must serve that function. Make people happy. Make beings full. And the fact is that the worldview I first said is dysfunctional. It doesn't make us happy. I dare say that there is the same, if not more, suffering in the lives of humans and animals on the planet today than there was 1,000 years ago, or 2 or 3. If you've ever looked at the vegan videos of what they're doing to animals to feed the population on 7 billion people on the planet, if you've seen thousands of beings being tortured and torn apart so we can have a sandwich, of course we don't see it. It's dysfunctional for that bird. Yeah. If getting a career and getting a bigger house and getting another relationship gets you in a rat race that you can't get out of after 10 years, and 10 years have gone past, and a marriage and 3 kids, and now I've got the mortgage. Yes, we can figure out how to build buildings. Yes, we can figure out how to print money. But it didn't function for its core purpose, which is everything we move towards is because we want it to give us some pleasure that stays. And we want to run away from something that is hurting us and we don't want it. Does that make sense? Think about it. It's challenging to think about because we're comfortable. We're so comfortable. I'm really comfortable in my life. I live in a great New York loft. Ah, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 special guests tonight. The first one is Sakura. Everybody say hi. She hasn't been in New York for a long time. She's the architect designer of the altar. And Alison, the old manager of the ritual, not so old. She made this place happen for year after year after year after year. So thank you both for coming. So we have to identify. I went on a rant, didn't I? You got the rant. You understand the rant? I'm going to keep doing it until we get it. Self-existent being, a gacha, is a thing that could exist without being a group of parts that we are forced to experience by a past karma in a certain way, right? Anything that could exist, anything you grab at all, easy to look at it physically, okay? Is this a computer? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Is it a computer from its own side,
No.
self-existent?
Which side?
Ah, cool. No, right? And that's simple for us. Why not? Give me a proof. If a dog walked in here, it doesn't say computer. Yeah? We've established that. Or an elephant, purple elephant. Doesn't say computer. Therefore, this ain't radiating computer from its own side. Is it square? Sorry, it's the screen rectangle.
Yes.
Bloody Buddhists, having to be accurate.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is for humans, right? I agree, it functions. Yeah, like science works for humans. It is rectangle. Is it rectangle from its own side?
No.
Right, we know that, right? We know that intellectually. Do you see computer?
Yes.
If this is the problem, you see the gacha, seeing things as self-existent, which we do. You think it's a computer, we can communicate computer. If we had to defend computer, because the dog is saying definitely not computer, I'm peeing on it. It's my pee pad. Yeah? We'd get very upset. The dog is wrong. It's a very expensive computer. It's a very nice pee pad. Is the dog wrong from having a valid pramana, a valid perception? Why should you win? Because I paid for it. You think about it and escalate that. I want the dog to go away. Piss off, dog. No, don't piss. Off, dog. It's my computer. You will ruin it. I punch you in the face, dog. Wars start because we think things are the way we experience them. We really do think things are self-existent, even though we can intellectually understand they're not. As soon as someone gets beyond the atmosphere of intellect for you and make it real, like the dog is going, oh look, it's not a computer, we're okay. But as soon as he starts raising his leg, I'm not so okay. You've just crossed the boundary. It's more of a computer then than it ever was. And I'm going to teach you, dog, that it's a computer by punching you in the face. This is how wars happen on the planet. This is why we eat each other and kill each other. Because we think nourishment is in the wings of a chicken. We're going to chop it up and put it in our mouth. It's dysfunctional. It doesn't serve its purpose. Because what if you must necessarily have every single action you've put out there, you must necessarily have it ripen upon you? Then punching dogs in the face is not so good if you're going to be punched in the face every time you want it to be. Ripping body parts of creatures ain't okay every time you're hungry. Yeah, because every time you're hungry, a finger falls off. I mean, making it up. If causality is all-encompassing, including your mind and perceptions, it's a bigger deal than we think. But we're comfortable in New York. We can intellectualize about these things. It's fun. Then I'm going to go and have a club sandwich. Do you understand the gacha? Anything at all that could exist over there separate from what we are. Okay. I found this awesome definition of emptiness, which from Gyaltsab J, who's back there. And I like it because I was saying things are dysfunctional, but he's saying, check out the function of this object once you connect with the ultimate reality, emptiness, right? And he's saying that that object, which is such that if you realize it directly, means you have a visceral experience of things not being self-existent, yeah? That when you go looking for the gacha, you never found it, and you come up empty. And this realization that everything is like that allows you to finish off your impurities. That's his definition of emptiness. That object, that all-encompassing touch with truth is so electrifying that once you've touched it, it allows you to clear off your impurities. Meaning, what?
Stop creating negative karma.
It actually means you're two things. You clear off all mental afflictions, nirvana, right? That you never have, you can develop, once you realize that, you understand how to apply that to your mind, so your mind can never again have an affliction, a negative state of mind. That state is called nirvana. But he also says, the second subpart of that is and your obstacles to omniscience, to all knowledge, which means you can become